everybody. Welcome to the show. We are here with Mitch Ribak down there in warm, sunny Cocoa Beach, Florida. 20 years as a realtor, independent broker, now over here at eXp for the last 4.5 years. Got a great story. Let's do it. Here we go. Mitch.
What's up, buddy?
Thank you very much, man, for jumping on here. Totally appreciate it, man. One of our business partners. We're all working together. That's one of the things I love about this. But you're down there in your sunny, warm Florida. What's the temperature?
Let's clarify that a little bit. Yesterday was 37 degrees in the morning, and it usually is very warm, sunny. And today it's a mess. It's like 50 degrees and cold, and I don't even think I can play golf this week. It's going to be terrible.
Yeah. My brother lives in Tampa. It gets to 50. They're wearing the winter coats, and it's panic time. You know,
I had my hat on this morning. I had my coat. I was like, I got my long sleeves. I never wear long sleeves.
There you go. Well, I appreciate your time, man. I know you're a busy guy down there. Totally appreciate you jumping on here. So I know you got a great story. Sure. You're an entrepreneur at heart.
Yes, chronic. I've had 23.
Yeah, tell a little bit of your story. Yeah, tell a bit of your story, even prior to real estate. You know, you've done quite a few things. Just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I've been. Let's see. I started my first business was 19. It was a modular home business. I think I sold 2 of them. Then I didn't like it. It was kind of boring, which is kind of funny that I'm in real estate, right? I was the 3rd paintball business in the country. I've owned restaurants. I've owned marketing companies. I owned an ad agency. I owned, what else? I owned a regular dating service.
Didn't you have the first online dating?
Yep. It was the first online dating service. I've had a coaching company. I've had a real estate brokerage. I've had an education company. That's 23 companies in 42 years.
Yeah. Well, that's wow. Good for you.
I started when I was.
Yeah. What led to real estate?
Being broke like everybody else.
Okay.
So we had the online dating service. That's how I ended up in Florida. We were under contract to sell. We moved. Part of the deal is I had to lower my expenses from Boston down to somewhere else. Ended up. Long story how I ended up here. I was doing a radio show out of Universal Studios. Ask the Date Doctor. Very fun. And so we asked my friend what the office space was in Cocoa Beach, and it was $12 a foot, which is free. So I came over here to look, and I was 38 years old, single, looking in girls in bikinis. I'm like, no brainer. So I moved here 30 days later. And in April of 2000, if you remember, the internet bubble burst. I was supposed to close in June. I lost everything in about 30 days.
Oh, wow.
And we're talking like $80 million, everything. It was a really bad day.
Yeah.
So I balled my eyes up for 3 days. Tried to keep the company going for a year. And all my friends were like, Mitch, get your real estate license. You'd be great at real estate. I'm like, I don't like realtors. Why would I do that? So anyways, I was broke. I had $14,000 in the bank. And my buddy Joe from Boston said, Mitch, get your license and I'll help you out a little bit. We'll start a management company. We'll buy a couple properties and I'll pay for them. And so he did that. But it was easy. I sold 36 homes my first year. 50 my second year, 80 my third year, 80 my fourth year. I'm like, I don't really understand the difficulty of selling homes. I didn't know anybody here, and I still sold 36 homes my first year.
Wow.
And then I started my brokerage in 2005, and we went from 6 agents to 120 in 2016. And finally, I was also at the time I owned a company called Inside Sales Agents. We did internet lead conversion for brokerages all over North America. And because my background is internet lead conversion for real estate, I've done a lot of that. And I'm known as the godfather of lead conversion, which is really funny. Originally, they wanted to call me the grandfather, but I'm like, that sounds too old. So it's the godfather. Yeah. It's like for my Jewish Italian friends. And so I went to look for a solution. So my solution for other business, I just sell them. I was working 100 hours a week. I was 55 years old. My parents both died late 50s. Most of my relatives died in their 50s. And I just kind of freaked out of what happens if something happens to me. You know, the hard part about this brokerage is never an exit strategy, right?
Yeah.
So I really did. I have a granddaughter with a rare disease who's now the lead singer in my rock band, which is kind of cool. And eXp lets me have the time to play in a rock band. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so I went to sell the company, got 2 offers, both $3.5 million from 2 franchise companies and major companies. And, you know, when you get down to the final negotiations, you know, they give you a little bit of money now, a little bit of money the second year. And the bulk of the money is based on the attention of the original, at that time, 120 agents. And I can't say on camera what I actually said to them, but I basically told them no, because it wasn't, you know, I know there's some nice people out there and I don't want to swear.
Right.
I literally got off the call, not the call, it was a meeting, walked out of the meeting with them. In the next 7 days, I fired 50 agents. All my agents weren't selling houses. They were costing me the most amount of money. I called Jason Gessing, the CEO of eXp, because I'd already met with Jason 3 times before because I love the concept. I always loved the model, but my ego was in the way. You know, I'm Mitch Ribak. I'm the big guy. You know, I'm only 5'6", so I have to really be a big ego, right? And the reality is I wasn't making any real money as a broker. I just got the phone with the broker I was helping join the company now, and she's like, lost $7,500 with her 10 agents last year. You know, so that's very typical of a lot of brokers. And I was making a living, you know, but I also had my coaching business, and I also, you know, I had my books that were selling, so I stuff that was out there. That's the only way I could sell, and I sold home still. So, anyways, I met Jason up in New York at Inman in January 2017, and my biggest problem was Tropical Realty was a big company here. So I said, I don't know how to deal with that from an ego standpoint, from a branding standpoint. Everybody knows who we are. We do 700 transactions a year. Just be Tropical Realty, brokered by eXp. I'm like, that's it? He goes, yeah, that's it. So I came home and had a conversation.
Keep the brand, keep all that stuff. Yeah.
So I came home and had a conversation with my wife, and it was a really interesting conversation. My wife's been corporate her whole life, so she's not an entrepreneur. I'm like, let's figure it out. Let's do it. And so she said, well, first of all, I told her about who they were, and she's Googling everybody. Who is this Glenn Sanford guy? And doing that because she's doing her homework. And, you know, remember, all she heard was we have a $3.5 million offer on the table, 2 of them. So I said, here's the deal. If it does what I think it's going to do, then we can retire in 5 years. If it doesn't, I can always flip the switch back on and be Tropical Realty Beachside all over again. And she said, well, what do we have to lose? I said, we don't have anything to lose. So let's do it. So she bought in. I was totally blown away, by the way, that she actually did that because she's way more cautious than me.
Yeah.
That's why we were broke up until that point, because I always took risks, right?
Yeah.
And this was a huge risk because at the time, no broker had ever switched over of my size. There were a couple of smaller brokers, 5 agents. Went and talked to 30.
And how big were you at that point right there?
Now we're 65 agents. We got rid of 100.
Wow.
We had 120. We got rid of 50. Went to 65.
Gotcha. Okay.
And talked to my 34 top agents that did 92% of the business and said, look, if we don't like it, we'll switch back. And that was the ongoing messaging. Look, if we don't, and remember, back then there was 50 agents in Florida and only 2,800 in the country. So it wasn't like everybody was like, ESP who?
Yeah.
You know? Anyway, so long story short, I'm making it very long, but we switched over in June of 2017 with 40 agents. We lost 25 in the switchover.
Okay.
Again, nobody heard of us. 19 of those 25 never sold a house. Of the other 6, 3 of them have now joined us. Right. Okay. 2 retired. So retired, but quit the business. We're going to hit 1,700, I think today. I'm going to hit 1,700 agents today. 45 states, 7 countries. I went from working 80 to 100 hours a week. I work 35, maybe 40 hours sometimes, which is an entrepreneur. That's a part-time job. And like I said earlier, I play in a rock band with my grandkids, which is amazing. I'm a better husband. I mean, that's my relationship is completely off the charts better now because I'm present now. When I had my brokerage, I was never present. I was there, but what I was doing this all day long, right? Phone call. Yeah, what do you need? What do you need? Because I get 15, 20 calls a day every day, and it was 7 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. Right. So that's my story, and here I am.
Yeah.
Now
wow. Well, I mean, 1,700. Congratulations on that, and all the success you've had here. I know, everybody in the company knows who you are. I mean, it's just, let me ask you this. Let's go back a little bit. Like when, knowing there's going to be all kinds of agents watch this, brand new agents, seasoned agents, brokers, all kinds of stuff. If you could go back, to the beginning, you did 36 homes your first year. Is that right?
Yeah.
You were very similar in that sense. I was surprised. I did 32 my first year. I did about 50 my second, 72 my third.
Almost like that.
Myself, no assistant, very similar in that track. When you said those numbers, I'm like, we're close there, and right. It was crazy. I mean, that third year by myself was just, it was a lot of work. It was just, holy cow. My wife got her license in 2005. We started working together, and we built the team at Keller Williams, did a bunch of stuff. But if you could go back and tell knowing what you know now, go back to like that as a brand new agent, what would you tell yourself, knowing what you know now?
Oh, so many things. Number one thing is the people that do the least amount of business are going to try to teach you how to sell houses. Don't listen to them because they don't know what they're doing. As much as I'm an internet guy, old school. I sold first 6 homes, 28 were from open houses.
Wow.
Yeah. So and then don't chase the shiny objects. Pick something that you want to do that you'll actually do. Like I teach a lot of stuff to my agents to try to find out what they'll actually do. Because I can teach you how to be successful. I can teach anybody how to be successful, as can you, Jeff, right? It's not hard. But the problem is what you'll actually do. Because if you don't implement, you will fail. And that's the reason why most agents fail is because they don't implement anything. And they start chasing. Like I have one agent, I love her to death. Great girl. I think we're on month 5 right now. She hasn't shown any property yet because she's always going to classes. I'm like, stop trying to learn this stuff. You're going to learn by doing this stuff. Get out there and do your job. I didn't know nothing. And I actually started on September 10th, 2001. So the next day was 9/11. And then I knew my weaknesses were going to be contracts. This is the other thing. Learn your contracts. So because I'm ADD, I had to learn my contracts. So I spent Tuesday was 9/11, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I wrote 10 fake contracts those 3 days. And then I did my open house that I had no idea how to do. Now I've mastered them, of course, over the years. And I sold my first house that day.
Wow.
And I had no idea what I was doing. I was driving to the open house. I'm like, all right, what am I going to do? Well, I'm just going to pretend I slept in a Holiday Inn Express last night and be here all time.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. I think, and we can get stuck, so it's just that fear of actually getting out there and doing it. Cause I got to learn everything before I do it. And you're right. You are going to learn by doing it. You'll make some mistakes, whatever. How many times have I made mistakes in this business in 20 years, Yeah. So
my last book is called So You Have Your Real Estate License, Now What? And it's really it's just talking about going out there and doing it. There's lots of ways of doing stuff there. But if you want, Jeff, I'll share it with you and you can give it to anybody that you want. I'll give you the PDF of it and you just send it to whoever you want.
That'd be awesome. Thank you so much.
Because it does help people move because you got to move. It's just like exercise. You got to get off your butt.
Yeah, for sure. So, and how many years were you in the business before you went to be your own broker?
4.
4 years. What made you decide to do that? Like, why? I think I want to be a broker. Like, was it just the leverage part? Was it another adventure? Another, more entrepreneurial spirit?
It's the progression, right? It's what you're supposed to do. I started my team in my 3rd year. I started my brokerage in my 4th year. That's just the progression. If knowing what I know now, I would never started a brokerage in a million years. I would have been a team somewhere.
Okay.
I made way more money as a team. And I had more fun as a team. I made more money as a team of 6 than I did as a brokerage with 120.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just crazy. So
all the overhead.
Yeah, well, overhead and all the angst. You're a psychologist when you're a broker. You are when you're a team leader too, but the team leader of 6 or 10 agents is a lot different than being a psychologist for 120 agents.
Yeah. What would you say? What's the biggest pain point if you can put just one? What's the biggest pain point as far as being a broker? What was it for you personally?
One is so hard to do because there's so many. I had no control over my revenue, and I couldn't change people. I've spent my life helping people change, and every business I've had, I've always tried to get people to excel and move up to the next level and level up. You've heard me talk before. I always talk about leveling up, right? Mm-hmm. And it's so heartbreaking to me to see people that have so much potential not work, not implement. And that was the hardest part. And then the financial part, obviously, I didn't control the revenue. So I'll give you an example. January and February, I would lose $80,000 in January and February because people stopped working in November and December. So I analyzed that. Why is that the case? Why do they stop working? Well, by November 1st, if they haven't hit their goals, they quit, give up their goals. And if they already hit their goals, they give up because they hit their goals. So it's the holidays. You know, there's 3 days there. You have 2 days of Thanksgiving, 2 days of Christmas, and New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, right?
Right.
5 days that they have to take off 60 days for. My best closing month always was January.
Wow.
Because nobody else worked during November and December.
Yeah.
So I remember when I started September 10th, 2001, that January I had 9 closings. That was only 4 months old.
Yeah. That's something I learned early on, I had some good coaching, good training early on. And I just learned, do the opposite of what everybody else does. They all pull back on their marketing in November, December. I'd ramp up my marketing. I'd ramp up all this stuff. And we always have big Januaries and February because of all that. So it's a great point. Yeah. So with that, and again, the time factor, the money factor. So, 4.5 years ago now, you get past your ego, and I get that. Yep. Every realtor out there has an ego of some sort, But and especially as a broker owner, I get it. You built this brand, you built this culture, you built this thing, and and everybody knows it. It's Cocoa Beach, and they all know it. And it's like, man, whatever. Like, how has how has eXp helped break that pain point, solve those pain points?
I don't chase people to be successful anymore, which is really a huge thing. People come to me all the time for help. I do about 20 hours a week of coaching, free coaching for anybody. I don't care. But I don't chase people anymore. So what it's created for me, and the other part, the other big thing, obviously, I was missing my grandkids grow up, just like I missed my kids growing up being an entrepreneur. Right? I didn't want to make that same mistake again. And so the pain point of being able to spend the amount of time I spent with my grandkids, I'm the father figure for them. Their dad's in the Air Force, so he's gone. So I'm the father figure, and it's like making amends for being. I wasn't a bad dad, but I wasn't there. So I play ball 3 nights a week with my grandson and the band, and when I leave here right after our interview, I'm going to hang out with my grandson for a while. That's the cool stuff, right? So it gave me freedom. I'll give you an example of freedom though. In September, my wife and I got to drive around the country for 32 days. And I haven't done a vacation since 1989 like that, when I owned my paintball business. And I forgot that one. I was a big paintball guy. We took 32 days, drove around the country. I got 5 phone calls the entire time.
Wow.
So it truly is creative. Here's what I tell people. It created what I thought being a broker would be. I thought being a broker would give me leverage so I could spend more time with my family. And what it created, and I don't mean this badly or mean to him, but it created a babysitting job. And so what now is I have people being helped for the people that want to be helped, right? Which I love. And I get more time with my family. So it's creating freedom. I mean, I've even when I had the $80 million from the other company, I was making a ton of money back then. I didn't have the freedom I have today.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Sort of like the freedom team, right?
Yeah. I remember those days. I mean, because again, I built a team, and was at Keller Williams for 5 years. Great company, no issues there. I wasn't using any of their stuff, which is why I left there. I'm like, I had all my own websites, tools, everything. But I just remember those days. I was leveraged. We could do more deals. But I remember going on vacation. I remember being in Ireland with my wife and kids. We're on a 10-day trip to Ireland. My God, we're staying in castles. I mean, it's just like it was such an amazing trip,
Beautiful, yeah.
But I remember being on my phone from Ireland, at, sometimes, 3:00 in the morning, time differences and stuff, having to get out of bed and go, because I've got a deal back here, one of my agents, and it's falling apart and they need my help. And it's just, I'm not on vacation. I mean, I am, but it's like, oh my God, I'm dying, I see these posts. I saw a post. There's a big agent here in Colorado Springs, and everybody here knows who he is. I'm not going to say his name, but I remember seeing this. This is like this, I don't know, it's probably 4 or 5 months ago. He's with his wife and his kids. He's at the Denver airport, and they're heading to Mexico, and he's like, whatever, here's the family, whatever. And it's like, getting ready, can't wait, beach, here we come, whatever. By the way, I've got my laptop with me. If I can help you in any way with your real estate needs, I'm always here to help. I just want to reach through the computer and no, don't do that. It's like your kids need you. Your wife needs you. You need a break. We all need those breaks. I think we run ourselves into the ground sometimes,
Yeah, there's no end in sight, and when you're thinking about longevity and generational wealth, and let's say most realtors work until they're 100 years old because they have to.
Yeah,
that's just the reality. And the best part to me of eXp, obviously just what, all the stuff I've said, but the fact that if I die today, this is the security and the freedom. My wife is licensed because of this. She just takes my spot. I mean, how amazing is that to know that if I die, which by the way, I'm not going to die till I'm 142, so I got plenty of time left.
Yeah.
But if I die, my wife takes my spot, and our daughter's getting licensed right now. She'll have I think she takes her test next week.
Right.
She'll step in if my wife dies.
Right.
My granddaughter, who's 16 in March, when she turns 18, we are making her get her license, not to sell houses, but just for that longevity. So we're creating an eXp generational wealth.
That's
what a
huge.
blessing that is. It's a blessing.
That's huge. It's huge what that could do. And right now you said 1,700 agents. Like, hey, can you, because that's like some people outside of eXp, they're like, there's like that just, number one, it sounds like a nightmare. It sounds like more headaches than I could ever possibly handle. Like, to build a brokerage within the brokerage, can you just explain that idea here? Like how the no borders, explain how that works.
Yeah. So, I personally only have brought on 87 people. I don't have 87 active right now, but that's how many people I brought on for the last 4.5 years. Those 87 is what turned into 1,700. I don't really know the numbers off the top of my head, but I'll give you an example. So that 87 turned into 120. That 120 turned into 300 and something. That 300 and something turned into 400 and something. That 400 and something turned into 500 and something, and so on. That's how it grew. I don't have the responsibility of most of the people. I have my group here locally that I help and support. My people I personally have brought in, I help and support.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know 85% of the people in my organization. They don't call me to sell houses. Now I do a lot of support, I do coaching and all that stuff. I help anybody, like I said earlier, anybody that wants help, I'm here. And I put that out to all 1,700 agents. But they don't, because they all have people like me that brought them in. Right. So, like Pete Middleton, you probably heard Pete's name. Pete's a great guy from San Diego. He's a big part of he's 1,100 of my 1,700.
Right.
Dennis D'Souza, who brought Pete in, is a 1,250 of my 1,700. But there's people that are under Pete that are like Chris. I don't know how to pronounce Chris's last name, Carico. He's 600 of Pete's 1,100.
Right.
That's how it grows. It's true leverage. It's the exact definition of leverage, and that's the beauty of this model. I mean, to say it changes your life is an understatement.
Yeah, and you're not the broker anymore, so you're not liable for any of those.
No stress.
You don't have to train them. You train. You collaborate. I mean, that's the other thing. Can you just hit that real quick, and we'll be done here in a second. Like the collaboration piece of this, I've been blown away in the 4 years I've been here. Like just the way everybody's working together, because there's a lot of misconceptions out there about eXp.
Oh, I know.
It's a virtual thing. Like I need the relationships. I want to have any relationships. And talk about that.
There's more relationships in eXp than anything I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it's ridiculous. And even though I may not personally see people face to face, so the collaboration is something I didn't expect. It wasn't even on my radar when we joined eXp. Nobody even talked about that when I joined eXp. I did it to just start my little team and my little brokerage inside a brokerage and do my thing. I was hoping maybe if in 5 years I had 1,000 people, that'd be really cool. I wasn't sure how that was going to happen, but it'd be cool. But I'm going to give you an example of collaboration. If you were to hire me, not you because you're with eXp, but if you're a non-eXp broker or team and you hired me to work with your team on internet lead conversion, I charge $2,500 an hour. I do this all the time for eXp teams, right? I don't charge a penny.
Yeah,
that's collaboration. And why do I do that? Because we all own the company. So I think the number is 70% of eXp is owned by agents and brokers and management.
Yeah,
employees, 70%. So, the people that are out there, do you own your company? If you don't own your company, you don't have the loyalty to the company that we do. And we have the loyalty because we own it. I have 24,000 shares. I'm pretty motivated to help you succeed.
Yeah.
Right.
The better we all do, the better the brand does. The more agents that want to join us, the better the stock does, and that ownership. Yeah.
And I want to add a little more to that because I think it's important for people listening.
Sure.
Is the people that teach stuff, like I teach internet, I teach other stuff, open houses, because that's another forte of mine. The people that teach in eXp are people that sell. So a lot of places you go, people that teach, what's the saying? If you can't do it, you teach it. Right. So, but you might get Elizabeth Riley talking about how to sell 75 homes a year through your circle of influence, or Kyle Whistle on how to do video, or Pete Middleton on luxury sales. we all pour our hearts into everybody to teach them. And it's all people that are actually really successful at what we do. Unlike most brokerages, it's a whole different dynamic. I mean, when I think of how I could have been with, I won't say the names of the companies to be nice, but the two companies that offered me big money, and then KW did offer me a lot of money to switch over to them when they heard I was moving to eXp, and they have their thumb on you. Right. eXp, everything we do it's agent done. The agents do everything. It's not the brokerage is just like a figurehead on top. It's the agents putting this all together. I mean, even the meeting in Puerto Rico last week, that was agents putting that together. The meeting in Cabo we have in March, that's agents putting that together. It's pretty cool. The collaboration's amazing.
Awesome. Yeah, you're going to be in Cabo?
Of course, I go everywhere.
Yeah, I'll be there too.
I do all the fun stuff. Yeah,
it's awesome. No, very cool. Well, I appreciate your time. I hear you're a heck of a ping pong player too.
I'm a pretty good ping pong player. I used to be 14th in Southern New England.
Wow. There you go. Yeah. There you go. Well, good deal, man. Well, I appreciate your time. Congratulations again on all your success. And, and again, I love the fact that, like we're not connected directly financially.
No.
But, but I look at it like we're all business partners here. We're all owners. We're all working together. That collaboration, we're all helping each other, like us with our team, Freedom Team, we're doing trainings, multiple times a week, whatever. We're doing all kinds of stuff there. In addition to all the stuff that eXp offers, it's so overwhelming in such a good way. It's just,
you hit it right on the head too. Like I'd say about 50% of my calls per week are people not in my organization.
Yeah. Well, that's how we work together. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, good deal, Mitch. Well, I appreciate it. I will see you in Cabo. Nice and warm down there. It's going to be great. So guys, Mitch, you can find him on Facebook. You can find him, I'm sure, LinkedIn, all the different places. If you want to reach out to him, whatever, definitely do that. If you can send me that book, that'd be great.
I'll email it to you when we're done.
That'd be awesome. Definitely. I'll share that with a bunch of our team and get that out to people as well. So very cool. So guys, thank you very much. Have a great rest of your week. Mitch, thank you. Enjoy Florida. I'll see you soon. Okay. Thank you so much.